Hey folks, welcome back to the Toronto Marlies Insider. With the AHL season quickly approaching the halfway mark, we're going to take a look at how each player has performed so far and give them a grade, the usual A to F system. To be eligible for the list, a player must have played at least 10 games so far, so let's jump into it. We've already covered the goalies and the D in a previous video, the link is in the description. We're going to cover this one in alphabetical order. Starting with Nick Abruzzese. Bruiser, as he is known, has had a good first half to the season. In 33 games played, he has 6 goals and 18 assists for 24 points. Of our forwards, we believe that he, along with maybe Kiefer Bellows, could make the jump to the NHL right now and not look out of their depth. And perhaps if he was with a different organisation, he'd already be a solid third, maybe fourth line NHLer already. The Leafs currently have Tyler Bertuzzi, Matthew Knies and Nick Robertson listed as left wingers. And the right wingers and centres include names like Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Marner. So Nick may be a victim of circumstances here, but just like Max Lajoie, the Leafs' loss is our gain, and Nick has really grown into a great playmaker who can really dictate a play or a game. Overall, he gets a B+ from us. Speaking of Kiefer Bellows, he recently signed a deal to stay with the Marlies until the end of the season, at which point we'd love for him to be extended, but we do expect him to leave for some potential NHL ice time. Because just like Nick, we can't see where he fits into the current Leaf team. Maybe things will change over the off-season, but as it stands, we just don't see him getting any time. He does lead the Marlies this season so far with 15 goals and is second overall for points in the team. He has 27 points in 26 games and doesn't show any indication of his output dropping off immediately after getting a new contract. Cough, cough. We're going to give Kiefer an A, and we genuinely do hope that he stays past this season, but we don't see it happening. Moving on to my son's favourite player now, Joe Blandisi. Blender will always give you everything that he has. He has played a crucial role in the development of some of the younger guys in the team, the likes of Zach Solo spring to mind, but beyond his leadership and unwillingness to lose, he has been producing also. He has 26 points in 32 games, 9 goals and 17 assists. And the fact that John Gruden didn't really fancy Blender at the start of the year, but now he cannot afford to leave him out of the team, tells you everything you need to know about Blender. It's a well-earned B+ from us. From one absolute workhorse to another, let's talk about Kyle Clifford. Cliffy now, he was never going to get you 50 goals and 50 assists, but that's not in his game, that's not who he is. Similar to Blender, he's all about hard work and putting in the hard yards. However, he is performing better than last year. He has 13 points in 26 games. And like I said, scoring isn't why he's absolutely irreplaceable to this team. He does put in the hard yards, he never gives up, he fights for everything, but he also acts as an on-ice protection for a lot of the younger guys. A great example is when he came in like a freight train trying to take off Imama's head when he speared Hildeby. A lot of the players spoke about this after the fact and what it meant to have a guy like that on the team and the security that it gives them knowing that he has your back. We're tempted to give Cliffy an A based solely off the fight with Imama, but a B is probably a fair representation. Max Ellis could be the most frustrating player on this roster. Capable of scoring great goals, making great assists and developing great plays, he goes missing all too often for us. His play against Sokolov for Ryan Forberg's goal in the 8-0 demolition of the Sens is a great example of his potential. He can back check, he can outwork and outmuscle bigger, stronger players, he can drive forward with his head up and make a great pass for a goal. But again, he doesn't do it nearly enough. He only has 2 goals and 8 assists in 26 games played. He is on course to equal his points total from last year, but we really want him to step into the creative void left behind following the departure of STA. Here's hoping he can, but for now, and unfortunately for Max, it's a D from us. Moving on to Dylan Gambrell. He has had 6 goals and 12 assists for 18 points in 32 games played so far. He's had a good first half of the year with the team, although we do think it's going to be a one and done with the Marlies for him. He played 123 times in the NHL in the past 2 seasons, and we're sure he's going to move on in search of more NHL game time. We'll be sad to see him go, but looking at his performances so far this year, we think a C+ is fair. He has shown good leadership, good output and good defense, but nothing really excellent, so a C+ it is. Next up, we have a player who is currently doing very well and earning rave reviews with the Leafs, Pontus Holmberg. Whenever he was playing with us, I always felt like I was watching an NHL centre playing in the AHL. Judging him solely out of the 11 games he's played this year, we have to give him an A. He has 10 points in 11 games and was always a threat when he had the puck. We're impressed with his mental toughness though. He played 37 games with the Leafs last year, so it must have been very hard to be sent down at the start of the year. However, he never moaned or complained, he just got on with it and ultimately proved the Leafs wrong, and now he's doing fantastic up in the NHL. Robert Mastrosimone, or Simone, I'm still not sure which is correct. I've heard Todd say both, so who knows. Anyway, we'll just call him Robert. It's hard to judge a guy like Robert. He's just 22 years of age and in his first year of pro hockey. The best thing we can say and the biggest compliment we can give him is that he doesn't look out of his depth at all at this level. He very much looks like he belongs in the AHL. He has 1 goal and 4 assists in 22 games played, but his goal could very well be a contender for goal of the season. He's probably exactly where the Marlies want him and playing very well for such a young guy. We give him a B-. The next one is a bit of a weird one, Dmitry Ovchinnikov. At times he's looked like he could set this league on fire, but he also goes missing and doesn't really get in, do the dirty work or put in the big hits, which again isn't really his thing, but he goes missing way too much. He made his KHL debut at just 17 and has played a lot of KHL hockey, but just 30 games over the last 3 seasons in North America. He is still young, and we heard that he doesn't speak English, so the settling in period could be a bit longer for him than others, but when he's firing on all cylinders, he's one of our most exciting players. In 19 games, he has 7 goals and 2 assists, including a great hat-trick against Grand Rapids, so we give him a B+ for his output, but also for dealing with all the adversity and still pushing forward. Let's turn our attention to my other son's favourite player, Captain Logan Shaw. Shawsy appears to be suffering from second season syndrome. If you're not sure what that is, just Google it. He was selected as an All-Star last year, was a points per game player, and came in the top 10 in points for the entire league. This year has seen a bit of a drop-off in production. He's still performing well. Having played 30 games, he has 10 goals and 11 assists for 21 points, so not a bad season by any stretch, but compared to last year, he hasn't been performing well. But this is judged just off this season, and with 21 points in 30 games, he gets a B- from us. Another one of the new guys is Josiah Slavin. He has 10 points so far, which is 1 less than he managed all last season, so he will definitely break that target. He has had a solid season so far with the Marlies and been very consistent. There's been nothing really bad, but also nothing really outstanding either. We're happy to have him on the team, and we genuinely do feel that he makes the team better when he plays, so he gets a C+ from us. Next up is the absolute tornado that is Zach Solo. He has 4 goals and 5 assists in 28 games played so far, but that's not what he's here to do. He's here to set the tone.
Let them know you're out there, boys. You gotta let them know.
Yeah, so who wants to set the tone, boys? Who's gonna fucking set it?
And he does a very good job at that. He's cut from the same cloth as Blender and Cliffy. His work rate and never say die attitude has earned him a well-deserved B from us. Now to Alex Steeves. We kind of have to give him an A here, don't we? I mean, he did set the franchise point streak record at 16 and is a point per player game this season. He could potentially make the jump to the NHL as a stopgap if a Leaf player gets injured, but we hope not. Again, the Leafs loss is our gain. A solid performer, has improved from last year. Well-deserved A. Finally, we have Ryan Thorberg, or Ryan Forberg as we're going to call him from now on. Still listed as a rookie, although it is hard to tell based on how well he's been playing this year. He has 18 points in 18 games, 6 goals and 12 assists. He also has to get an A. To be a rookie and a point per player game in this league is incredible. We look forward to seeing his further development because as it stands now, he just seems to get better and better as each game progresses. In a few years, we can see him being an established second liner in any NHL market. So, that's the forwards done now also. Let us know in the comments if you agree with the grades we've given out or if you'd like to change something. Again, if you haven't checked out the video on the goalies and the defensemen, the link is in the description below. We'll catch you in the next one.